All right. How's everyone's Christmas? What'd you guys do?
I don't celebrate Christmas, and I'm offended that you asked me that. Am I supposed to celebrate Christmas?
Yeah, I'm Jewish.
Yeah.
My Christmas was good.
All right. Can you? Thanks, Andrew. How was your Christmas, Andrew?
Trying to get canceled, buddy?
It's good. A lot of family, a lot of hanging out. Ate a lot of pizza yesterday. No, now I regret it.
Wow. You regret all the pizza you ate. Cool. And hey, and you Muslim and you Jew, what do you people do? Order Chinese food?
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I did.
Yep, that's a big Jewish culture. How do you didn't know this?
What? Why?
You don't know this?
Yeah, because it's the only thing that's
Jew
open.
like me.
Oh, God.
And the other thing that's open is Indian food, but the culture is you order Chinese food.
Food that doesn't make your house smell. Got it. What did I do? I didn't do anything really. I was just a couch potato.
Stay at home?
Yeah, I finished God of War Ragnarok. It's a
video game.
It's a video game, yes. Pretty famous. Very good storytelling, so just did that.
What does your wife say as you're sitting there as an adult male? Military age man sitting there in your living room. What does your wife say? She's like, "Oh wow, it's okay. Can I bring you some snacks?" Or she says, "Wow, this is not great." Or
no, I think she's just unhappy that I'm not doing that while with some chewing tobacco in a spit bucket. So,
Gabby, have you ever met her?
No, but I follow her on Instagram.
Oh, that's good. I'm trying to get her to post more.
Yeah, I love her makeup. It's so
our
nice.
audience would like to see her one day, Hadi, because our audience doesn't believe she's real.
Yeah, that could be. I could just be losing my mind.
I've seen her, but I've seen her.
Fly with me. Tube socks, boy, about to pop the lunchbox. Tube socks, boy, about to pop the lunchbox. Tube socks, boy, about to pop the lunchbox.
Back to my roots, beats of the broken hearted. Wake up, alarm is on. It's just getting started for the artist. No trolley, I get
All
it
right.
right from the
With that being
source.
said, episode 5, guys, we made it 5 episode. What do you guys think? Has it been what we all thought it would be? Harder, easier, reflection?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a fun time. A lot of. I think that we've experimented with a lot of new formats and stuff like that, and trying different things. So I think it's been a really good time making this podcast, and learn a lot every week.
Yeah, so
right.
I'm getting a lot of emails and messages on LinkedIn saying oh, you I remember your what you said on an episode. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Really? From who? Friends?
Yeah, people are just like, oh, I watch your podcast, super interesting. And I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know you. Wait, do you not get those messages? You don't get
Wow.
No, we don't get those.
Gabby's famous. Gabby's famous.
We don't get any messages. Yeah, and guys, on my TikTok, I posted a video, and I post every day or every week, like the social media team post. We never get a comment. And then someone is hitting on Gabby in the comments on the last post I made. And I'm just like, this is supposed to be educational, Men are the worst. And the same guys are now messaging her saying, I watch your podcast. Well, the 3 of us get no messages. How do you get a message?
Nope, no messages from me. It has gotten a little bit easier, though. I'm a little more relaxed, I think. I also grew a beard and got a watch.
Well, let me see your watch.
Just a beard.
What is that? Whoa, you got a watch. What are you wearing now?
It's a Tissot. Is that how it's pronounced?
Oh, Tissot is a great, respectable brand. I'm not kidding. I think the podcast has been fun. I think my biggest takeaway for the podcast has been, I don't care who's watching it. I'm now doing it for me. Right? At the beginning, I was doing it for views. Let's get views. Let's make sure clients are watching it. And let's make sure we use it as a sales pipeline. And now that has changed to, I'm going to do it for me because this requires homework and this requires for me not to sound like an idiot. And in that I find growth and I think we should know a lot more about the industry if we're going to go ahead and speak for the industry. And I think that has been my biggest takeaway, which was initially it was for views and now it's just for personal growth and continuing to be very disciplined about the industry.
Wow, that's so thoughtful. I can't match that with anything. For me, it was a lot. I mean, for me, it's just honestly just sitting around talking to you guys. I think it's more educating, not picking a topic myself and watching you guys do the other parts. I think I just walk away learning more. or I'll see something that, I can send to a prospect or a current client. So I think it's beneficial either way, whether I'm on it or attending.
Who is the most different on camera? Like, who changes the most when we start recording?
Andrew.
I change a lot. I don't know about that.
Nah, I don't think so.
I think
I was gonna say
I think Hadi. Yeah, Hadi.
Hadi changes the
Yeah.
most.
That's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true. I don't do the jazz.
Yeah, you start looking like you're happy all the time on camera. Whereas when we start recording, you are a miserable fuck. I think that's the biggest difference. Which is on camera you're smiling like your Pan Am smile. Welcome. You look like a usher at a theater that I don't want to go to.
No, I know. Definitely Gabby.
No.
We all three said it's you. All three of us said it's you. Who's the least different on camera?
No, probably. I think Gabby. Gabby's
probably you, Nabil. I'd say probably you.
I think Gabby. I'll say Gabby. You know why? Because she's a robot all the time. She's dispersonable when the camera's off. Like Gabby has corporate emotions, which is as soon as Christmas is over, first question is, what did you do for Christmas? And then immediately to ask, and like after every holiday, like, what did you do this weekend? Did you have a good time? Cool. All right. Then, hey, I need X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3, so you're having a kid soon. How long, congrats, by the way, but how long will you be away? Exactly. So Gabby's like trying to go ahead and be cordial just so she can, slip in, client launch talk and work talk. So Gabby's the same all the time. I think the three of us are normal, and then Hadi's just happy when the camera's on. I think that's the only difference. Hadi, why don't you be more yourself? Show the people who you are.
All right, can we jump into it?
No.
No! Look at Hadi now. Oh no!
Oh, that is Hadi. Oh, I see what he did. He was acting like himself. I love it, Hadi. Hadi, bring your full self to the podcast. Don't listen. No one's tuning in because you are so joyous. Look at Andrew. All right, this is a very special podcast because we're going to stop our format. We're going to suspend our format, and we're going to go ahead and do a recap of the year. Right? We're going to throw in some opinions, some shades, some predictions, but we're going to throw in some recap for the year. We're going to talk about a bunch of different topics. We're going to tell you about who's the biggest winner, biggest loser, best investment, worst investment, best IG account. We're just going to do a quick recap on the year. All the topics we'll go after will be right here on the side. I don't know which side, but one of the sides, so you can see it. But I think it'll be an exciting conversation. I think this will be one of the more fun conversations we've had. Andrew has been dying for this show. He has been preparing for days, if not weeks or hours, for this show. So really excited. All right, let's kick off.
Minutes.
What?
Minutes. Milliseconds.
Listen, I like it. Before we start, Gabby, that cabinet, did you get that from Russia?
Yes.
Look like Soviet era furniture. That looks like furniture that would outlive you, me, Andrew, Hadi, our grandchildren as well. It looks like made well. None of that IKEA shit. Okay, first topic. Biggest winner in restaurants. Let's start with Hadi.
Chipotle. Just their sales are up 7.6% year over year. 43 new locations that specifically have Chipotlanes. Now, the Chipotlanes part is probably the part that's the most interesting because stores that have Chipotlanes generate 20% higher than some of their normal storefronts. That's basically the highlight. And they're starting to focus on a lot of markets that are not their traditional markets. Like you see them a lot in like Forest Hills, New York City, all these sanctuary cities, but they're trying to go out of market to get a better yield for their dollar. It takes less money to build in some of these like small town markets, but it has like comparable returns for them. So I think they're just so good at picking real estate. They've always done such a good job of that. And you pick them any year and they're winning. This year specifically because of sales to the pandemic.
Awesome. How do you pick Chipotle? 7.6% growth this year. And let's go with Gabby. Gabby, who's your biggest winner?
Yeah, so this was a tough one for me. I was kind of in between Chipotle and Sweetgreen. So I was really impressed this year when Chipotle was one of the first restaurants to actually tackle the metaverse. And they partnered with Roblox. They had this, I think, burrito builder, and everybody was able to, earn points and earn like burrito bucks. So I thought that that was a really interesting experience. I think that it takes a lot to be like one of the first, restaurant brands to kind of go out there and be like, okay, I'm going to try this. I'm going to see if it works out. And I just think that they had the guts to do that. And then Sweetgreen, so they acquired, I think it was Spice, maybe 2021, but I think ever since then they've been very just kind of forward thinking about how they want to scale their product and just focusing a lot on robotics, which I think is really interesting. And I think that they're kind of the leader in that space as well.
2 picks for Gabby, Chipotle and Sweetgreen. Andrew, your biggest winner in restaurants.
Yeah.
In 2022.
Well, yeah, I have 2 picks as well too. So one of them being Beast Burger. Beast Burger opened up its, if anybody knows, like they started off with opening 300 virtual locations. I think back in last year, right? And now this year they're over 1,000 locations. But they opened up their first brick and mortar this year right over yonder in the American Dream Mall in New Jersey, and it was like over 20,000 people that were lined up for that big opening. Yeah, nuts. There was a whole documentary about it and everything. So I think that's a big win there. And then also, kind of from growth and emergence, like Crumble Cookies, they went from 300 locations, now they're over 600 locations this year, and they're really, emerging as a market leader, in a category leader for cookies. So
I was going to, for my biggest loser in restaurants, I was going to pick Mr. Beast.
Oh, yeah.
I did not, but I was going to. Have you tried Mr. Beast burger? Have you tried?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. But is it horrible or is it okay?
It's okay. It's not horrible.
Okay.
No.
It's not horrible. When I tried it, I would say a year ago, it was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
With mustard, it was fucking horrible. It was disgusting. And I have heard that it's gotten better. So if you say it's better, I'll try it again. But I was going to make them the biggest loser because, I think food quality matters.
Yeah.
And only someone as powerful as Mr. Beast could grow this as well as he has done with it's okay, right? But a lot of restaurants don't get to be it's okay. So it just goes to show his power. But I didn't pick him for anything because I have too many friends who work there and I'm going to get an email. Don't email me. I'm sorry. Okay, my biggest winner in restaurant 2022 is Krispy Kreme. And the reason I picked Krispy Kreme is because I think they're taking a very unique approach. I think they're doing collabs. Like they think I think they think they are a fashion house in terms of how they're doing collabs. And I think they're doing it really well. They're cross-pollinating their audience from Twix. They did a partnership with them, with Popsicles, with McDonald's, which was huge. I think they're going to, and this is all the same year. It's all from 2022. And I think they're going to continue. And they were a part of the cultural zeitgeist. I think with this, they're bringing it back. Like in fashion, it's maybe New Balance who's doing the same thing, right? So I think the way they're approaching food and collabs is special. And my biggest winner for 2022 is Krispy Kreme. Please send me merch or donuts. Solid donuts. Yeah. Like I love my elevated donuts. Right? I love like Donut Plant and others. But I also love just give me a donut. Give me a solid donut. Alrighty, that was our pick for biggest winner in restaurants. I said Krispy Kreme, Gabby said Chipotle and Sweetgreen, Andrew said Crumble and Beast Burger, and Hadi also said Chipotle. All right, next, biggest loser in restaurants. We're gonna start off with Gabby on this one.
So for me, it was Cozy. They initially filed for bankruptcy, I think in February of 2020. Then they withdrew it and they ended up filing for pandemic aid. Then I think this past summer in 2022, they opened up again for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So I think that, that was that was definitely a failure. I've personally been to Cozy. I liked it, but I thought it was just.
What is Cozy?
They have like sandwiches, paninis, stuff like that, coffee. I don't think it's just a sandwich shop though. I have to see. I think they have other stuff too. Yeah, sandwiches, salads. I'm looking right now.
Why do you think they failed?
Why do I think they failed?
Yeah.
I just think they didn't expect that much. I think they didn't realize how the pandemic actually would affect them. I think that there were some restaurant partners who were prepared and said, okay, like this is happening, like this is reality. I just don't think that they were prepared. And instead of kind of, giving up, which I obviously don't think any restaurant partner should do, I just don't think that they chose the right approach to kind of turn around.
Yeah, it's a hard business. Most restaurants that open close. Most people who start a company fail. We're in the intersection of both of those stories, so we sympathize with both of those groups. My biggest loser in restaurant are people who did not build a moat around the fact that they have a lunch business or that all their business is on third party. Basically, they did not build a moat around dependencies. May that be COVID or just a lunch crowd or whatever it may be. So if you look at Hale and Hardy, they also shut down this year, and I think that's because their crowd is lunch crowd. If you look at Dig, Dig has a big lunch crowd. And Sweet Green had a big lunch crowd, but they worked really hard on their menu to become more than a lunch crowd, be more of an off-premise brand, or be more of a delivery forward brand, be more of a dinner menu brand, right? And I think my biggest losers are restaurants who are not building that moat. Similarly with digital ordering, you negotiated a great deal with DoorDash or Grubhub, great, that's amazing, but you still need your own customers, still need to build your own system, and still need to move customers to your own system. So if the pandemic has taught us anything, which is we are not going to go and be overly dependent on a partner or a segment of our menu, like just lunch. And I think those are the biggest losers for me.
It's so hard to believe, Nabil, that restaurants, the industry that's had to adapt to so much, right? You start a business, you have to adapt day in, day out at the micro level. At the macro level, it's really hard to believe that some people still out there aren't thinking like that. Even though when there's so many examples at all different stages, it just, I don't know, baffles my mind sometimes.
Yeah. Well, Hadi, who is your biggest loser in restaurants 2022?
Papa John's. I ate Papa John's. This is back when I lived in Astoria. Every day on my way home, I used to grab Papa John's slice. So decent pizza, right? For a chain.
I don't know if they're decent pizza.
It used to be.
Back me up here. Is Papa John's good food?
Their pizza used to be decent, but anyways.
That's maybe when you used to smoke. That's when you used to smoke weed, maybe that's like a post, like, oh, I smoked a joint and I'm starving. That's the only, because I've not seen anyone else outside of Papa John's. I've never seen anyone, the only people who order Insomnia cookies, and although Insomnia cookies good all the time. Go ahead, Hadi, tell us about your.
Here's why I think that they're the biggest loser is, people don't even want to get to the point where they want to try the food, because the founder, like 4 years ago, said the N-word to an ad agency when they were game planning how to make him seem less racist. He said the N-word in the call with them. And then since then, they've just been battling it. And this year, like they did Super Bowl ads. It doesn't matter what campaign they do. They can't shake off the fact that it's named after this guy and he keeps destroying any campaign that's put out there because of like things that he said. So it's like one of those things where they're not addressing the core issue. They're always going to lose no matter how many new things they come out with until they address this issue. They remove the apostrophe, so that's a start. So it's John's without an apostrophe, but
Papa John's is Hadi's biggest loser in restaurant for the year. Andrew, take us away.
Yeah, so Biggest loser in restaurants. I took.
Why are you yelling?
I took it literally there. Biggest loser
Your volume went so high.
in restaurants. I would say it's not a restaurant itself, but it's Cheetos, who's been trying to enter into restaurants really hard this year. If y'all seen at Applebee's, they got like a Cheetos crusted chicken, like a boneless chicken. I was at Milk and Cream earlier this year, ice cream place. No, none of it works well. They had a Milk and Cream had a Cheetos nugget, and there was a partnership with. I think they did it with like Hot Ones and stuff too. But like they had a Cheeto crusted nugget. Cheetos is trying to get like Cheeto dust, Cheeto, as like as an ingredient, like the same way that Oreo is like a basic ingredient in a lot of things. And so they're pushing really hard into restaurants, movie theaters. Like if you go to Regal, they have Cheeto dust. And I don't like any of it. I don't think it's working at all. No. The Cheeto, I had the Cheeto, at one, it came very late at Applebee's, very late. But two, it was, none of it's working well. And Cheeto dust and ice cream does not, like, the two dairies, I don't even know if Cheeto is dairy. Like, it probably is. I don't know. Well, who knows? But like, it is not, melding well, right? So yeah, that's the biggest loss in restaurants, I feel, this year. They're really trying to make it work, and I don't think it's working.
That's a good one. Failed Cheetos.
Mm-hmm.
Boycott.
They're going to keep
Cheetos.
trying. They're going to keep trying.
They should. You know who did a good job? The hot sauce at Shake Shack. Not bad at all. Did you try it?
No, he didn't try it.
No.
He hates Shake Shack.
I don't like
We're
Shake
going to do
Shack.
this
You
again.
don't like Shake Shack?
Nope.
Yeah, he doesn't. Despite how consistent they are.
No. I mean, I'm team
Why
In
don't
and
you
Out.
like Shake Shack?
I'm team In and Out. In and Out.
You're team In and Out. Cool. This is why we have no customers, everyone. Because we are so opinionated and we have so many things we've boycotted. We blacklist our potential customers.
You can really say In and Out with a straight face. Have you had their fries and
Their burgers. It's all about the burgers, dude.
And
they're really good.
We digress, but
Shake
for
Shack
Andrew,
is consistent.
It is Cheetos, Hottie, Papa John's, Gabby, Kosi, and for myself, it is restaurants that have not built a moat. Why won't you build a moat? Build a moat. We don't want you to end. We don't want you to close. Go ahead and build a moat. Have your own following. Okay, biggest winner in food tech. Let's start with Hadi.
Yeah, robotics. Never has there been a time where the labor market is not actually an issue, but no one can do anything about it because people have left and they don't want to come back because they're instead of a love-hate relationship like it used to be in the past, now it's just a hate-hate relationship. Like you let go of me in the pandemic, I'm not coming back. Any robotic company like Picnic for Pizza, I know, like there's several others out there like Miso Robotics. It's the perfect time because who's going to complain? Are restaurants going to complain? The staff that isn't there is going to complain.
But I don't think they had a great year. I don't think they were the winner in food tech. I think like a great prediction for next year.
Yeah, I would say from a funding standpoint, it's been a great year for them.
That's true.
They have landed a lot of great funding, including Chipotle opening up.
Oh, I'm an investor in a robot company. Who knew? You know, yeah. Can I say it? Can I embellish? No. Either way, there's a company that delivers that drives food. And I invested in them. I never knew it would lead to anything. So how do you saying I made a good investment accidentally?
That's last mile. I'm talking more back of house.
Okay.
Yeah. Stuff that actually, like front of house, kiosks, they've got it covered. Back of house, it's still a green field.
You really did that to you, Nabil. That's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, it's like Nero.
It's fine. It's whatever. Gabby was upset with me. Gabby's like, you invest in food tech? You need to diversify your portfolio. She was like making fun of me.
I think it's a good investment, but regulation has to catch up with that because like it involves like.
Oh my gosh, Hadi's really just drilling down on you.
Just say I did well. Leave it alone. No one has to know. All right, Gabby, take us away. It seems like you're aligned with Hadi a little.
Yeah. So I think this year in particular, with the pandemic just starting to wind down, we're seeing increasing like food safety regulations kind of still taking time for this year. Labor costs, as Hadi mentioned, are increasing. Packaged food is increasingly becoming a huge part of the industry as well. So I think all of those three combined are causing just like robotics to play a key role. I also think that just the market for food robotics is somewhere, I think, estimated to be around 3 billion in 2022, and it's expected to reach around 6 billion by 2027. So we're seeing like, you know, close to a 15% growth in that sector. So I think I think the pandemic really kind of spearheaded the process of having robotics both in-house and out of house. So I think in terms of winner of the year, I think this year was like a spearhead towards that. And so we're going to see a lot of momentum in the next few years. Oh, you're on mute.
Nabil.
Damn, he's on mute. He's on
Satisfying. So satisfying.
That needs to cohere.
He just millennial paused so hard.
We're not
Guys,
cutting anything
I'm
out,
so
guys.
Guys, I'm so embarrassed. Hadi, you were the first. By the way, you are on camera first mute. So you should say nothing while the other two make fun of me. You should say nothing. Because I joined your stupid club.
Still satisfying.
Millennial mute. Millennial pauses and millennial mute.
Millennial mute.
Oh my god, guys! I've had COVID, so I've been like coughing when I pause. You know, taking like
It's made you slow.
taking a little.
It's made you
this,
can't click on
having
buttons.
tea,
A little bit of this, a little
you know,
bit of
stuff like
that.
So
Clicking on buttons is
that.
hard. Clicking on buttons is
with
hard.
that, my biggest loser. What? How do you start?
I said clicking on buttons is a little harder. You know, clicking on buttons is a little harder. Can't unmute yourself.
You shouldn't say nothing. I'm in your club. I'm in your club. All right. We need to do a prize. Like whoever, Andrew or Gabby, whoever is the next mute, joins the club, and only one of us is the winner, and the winner should be taken out to a meal of their choice by all the losers. 3 meals.
I still have a favor.
And the loser has to pay for all 3, right? But the winner gets to pick. So Andrew, let's say Gabby, you win, okay? If you are not the millennial mute, and let's say you win, all 3 of us have to take you to eat, and the other 2, right? 4 of us, but all of us have to take you to eat. You get 3 meals. You get 3 meals on that, of your choice. All right, that's the bet. I already lost. Hadi obviously is the biggest loser among us. We need another loser to join us. All right, biggest winner in food tech. Let's continue. I think my biggest winner is Bebot and GoParrot and companies like them. These are competitors of ours, obviously. And what they did was they knew when to throw in the towel. So they threw in the towel before it became a very hard year because everyone raised money when in the last 3 years, every company, even the bad ones, raised money. And what's happening is now is there's consolidation happening. Or and the consolidation happening is because these companies who promised their investors, listen, when they met their investors one day and raised money, they didn't say, well, hey, we're going to merge one day, you know, and that's our exit strategy. They said, we're going to be your winner. We're going to be your unicorn, right? And most companies don't do that. So these companies, I think, companies like Bebot and GoParrot knew when to throw in the towel. They didn't, if they did it any later, they would struggle to sell. If they did it any earlier, I think it would be, they did it right at the peak, both these companies. They knew when to throw in the towel. We are not going to throw in the towel because we're a real company. Good times, bad times, we keep going. You know, not a weak one. But among these companies who are weaker, like GoParrot and Bebot and all these other companies, you need to know when to throw in a towel. So I consider them winners because they did it at the peak. They knew when to leave the table, go back to the room, not call anyone. Don't call anyone, you know, leave the table. So that's my biggest winner in food tech. A lot of reactions from you, Andrew. Do you want to say something?
No, a lot of takes. Very good. So my biggest winner in food tech was DoorDash this year. They are growing like crazy. I mean, in their Q2, they were up. The revenue jumped 30%. Q3, revenue jumped 33%. You know, a couple of days left in this quarter, we'll see. But I bet it'll be another big quarter for them as well too. And their market share has increased to 59%. The Uber Eats market share is 24%. So that's more than double the market share, right? So it's pretty wild. So yeah, DoorDash I think is crushing it, doing well this year. Their Drive program is performing well. So yeah, DoorDash.
Uber is the bigger company, though. Uber is twice as big, but in terms of food, DoorDash is significantly better. Obviously, I don't understand why Uber is. I don't see any reason why Uber cannot. I think they can stay in the fight longer. I think they have more moat. I think their driver program is obviously where they started, their bread and butter. I think I don't see why they cannot be the winner in this space. I have no good reason. I have no good reason to tell you, hey, why is DoorDash doing so much better?
I mean, they have the much larger fleet if you include all of their ride sharing drivers, and so it's just a matter of converting those folks. DoorDash coverage in a lot of regions, like they're starting to dominate in coverage, and so I know Uber's I think they've got like Florida, and they've got like more coverage in California with Postmates and stuff like that, right? But I think that the more that they can expand, the better.
I'm trying to understand, like, and this is like maybe the viewers can tell us a little bit too. Like, does Uber, like, if you drive for Uber? Last time I checked, it's not the case when I asked my Uber driver, but are you able to take Uber Eats deliveries as it's route planning your Uber app? Yeah, you can? Okay.
If I'm saying, like, I sometimes head to the city, and whenever I head to the city, on the way, it'll say, hey, you want to pick up food from here and here and here? Like, place the order right here on the same app. It's not the same app.
Yeah, no. I get what I'm saying is, so that's great. I do like that feature a lot, especially when you go from a hotel from a airport to a destination. I think that's pretty useful. When I am a driver and I just dropped off a ride, in between finding rides, if it can't find me a ride nearby, will it give me like a little small delivery to do instead? Because I wonder if why they have or haven't done that. That'd be pretty interesting. Maybe the viewers can tell us.
You think DoorDash would ever get into rideshare?
It'd be very hard. They would have to work with a company like Lyft.
I think there's a level of liability that they're not as concerned with right now. Like, Uber's got to be concerned with the passenger. Right now, DoorDash has just got to be concerned. That food better not knock over. The driver better not steal some fries. They better not get cold, whatever.
Right now, the food's the passenger.
Yeah, right now the food is the passenger. And so the cargo is a little bit easier. Maybe. Who knows? But I feel like it's like they're succeeding well in this arena. I think that they're seeing how they're expanding into liquor, into convenience, into grocery, and all that. Competing with like the GoPuffs and the Gorillas that are out there. I think that I see them continue to expand more in that way as well too.
All right, that wraps up our biggest winner in food tech. Myself, I named companies like Bebot and GoParrot, and the fact that they knew when to throw in the towel. Gabby Robotics, Hadi also Robotics, and for Andrew, it was DoorDash. All right, this one's gonna be a little bit harder, right? We're gonna might lose some friends, might lose some Christmas cards for next year. The biggest loser in food tech. All right, let's start with Hadi.
Yeah, for me, the biggest loser is, and this is by loser I mean company that's lost a lot, is it's probably Sunday. It landed a huge investment, like up close to 100 million, right? Led by some of the biggest names out there, and they came to the US to do in-store ordering, like contactless QR code ordering. And after raising a bunch of money, trying to do some integrations, they found that they're going to leave the market entirely, right? This happened this year. And the reason why this is like why I picked this is not because against anything it's at Sunday. I know some of those people are great people. I think like this type of technology itself, unless there's a movement behind it, right? Like something that can drive the consumer to come and use it, like a loyalty app, or want to use a QR code ordering, it'll just never work. Any category, anyone in this category is ultimately doomed to fail because POS systems want to own more and more of their share, right? They're building a moat, right? And then you talk about a moat. See how I brought that back in like boomer technology and referenced it just now until I got annoyed. So their POS systems, in-store ordering, and that digital revenue is now something QR code. So people like Toast, like Square, they're building systems to have that in-house as opposed to letting somebody else do it. And if you don't have integrations when you're running that type of service, if you don't have POS integrations, you're just disruptive to the operations. I gotta have another tablet, another something else to run your system. Come on, I can work with the POS system directly and it'll work. It's less work, and it all comes back to labor.
Yeah, we have the same investors. So if I get a call from our investors on why you're digging into them, I'm gonna throw you under the bus.
I got a Zoom link, and then I show up into board meeting.
Sure, yeah, something like that. All right, Gabby.
Yeah, so for me, it was really Grubhub this year. I think in May, they did this free lunch promotion, and, there's never really a free lunch. So they had this promo only in New York City from like 11 to 2 p.m., busiest time for a lot of restaurants, and all you had to do is use the promo code free lunch. Don't think they even told restaurants that they were doing it. And I think it was like it was around $15 of a promo for lunch. So I think it got really out of hand, especially like for a restaurant operator. You're getting so many orders, and I think Grubhub had around, I think their highest was like 6,000 orders a minute, which is insane. So at one point, I remember at some point people were complaining that the sites were just going down. Restaurants were just getting a lot of orders. They didn't know where to turn. I think I read somewhere that this like poke bowl spot had to like close down because the lady was like, I just can't take any more orders. So, really think that they messed up there. They were not thinking about, the operators at all. They were not thinking about, just capacity and just how food service workers would be affected. So yeah, complete chaos.
I mean, what this showed us, if anything, Gabby, is that consumers will just go towards the deal, right? Like if they get a deal, they'll order from you because it's cheaper, right? So even more reason why you should have a native ordering system that provides deal month over month with consistency. Like every month they can come there and it's cheaper than third party. Yeah, I mean, it's something. I mean, it just shows you there's no loyalty. Consumers don't have loyalty to DoorDash, Uber Eats. It's just, DoorDash provides better convenience. Whoever has the promo is who I'm going with for that month.
Yeah, and I think what was even more ridiculous is like they didn't have any type of promo just like, attached to specific restaurants, maybe like in the area. It was just kind of like, hey, just free lunch, just here you go. So definitely think that, it could have been done differently.
They are the worst year after year. We should do Who is Still the Worst award, and Grubhub. We should give it to Grubhub every year. Can we do that?
They used to be so good. Like back when Seamless was in New York City, it was so nice.
I know the founders of Seamless. I don't know if they're that good. All right. So, Andrew, who do you got?
Yeah. So, kind of adjacent to online ordering for restaurants, I put in fast, also because they are our checkout technology company, one-click checkout. I know a lot of folks that are probably in this restaurant technology space that maybe at one point talked with them about integrating. I know we talked with them about integrating into our platform for fast checkout and stuff like that, right? You go and scope these things out. But yeah, they shut down this year, which is that was a big thing, that big event that happened in technology. Yeah, the one-click checkout. Yeah, they raised over 100 million right beforehand, and at the time that they shut down, they were making like $600K a year. But they had they were such a fast unicorn. Yeah, so they were such a fast unicorn, and then they just didn't really convert well enough, like in terms of like getting adoption or a lottery. They're just burning cash so quickly, just hiring a whole bunch of folks. And so it was a pretty big like uphill spike and then decline. And so I know that was a huge event that happened this year, at least in terms of like they were invested by Stripe. They had a ton of really great folks on their team. Everybody was on for them, and then all of a sudden it was just like when I heard about that, boom. It vanished.
Why would something like that not succeed? Because it sounds like really cool, right? Like one-click checkout sounds great. And
it's a feature. It's a feature. It's not a company. It's a feature. Everyone has it. Amazon has awesome checkout.
I think it's that they were really spending so much money, like more than they should be at the level that the stage.
They're spending all their money on marketing.
Yeah, on marketing.
They were spending all their money on marketing. Their CEO was jumping out of a plane. and doing ski trips and NASCAR and stuff. If you guys think I am a loud ass marketer, my stuff is all cheap. I'm a cheap guy, I grew up in the projects. I don't know how to spend a lot of money. But this guy was spending all of his capital on marketing, all of it. So fast for Andrew. For me, and this is the last time I'll mention them. I don't want to pick on them all day. The biggest loser in food tech for me is Bbot. They did great in terms of selling and knowing when to sell, but DoorDash just did a layoff last month, and in that layoff, 70% of the Bbot team got fired. There's a difference between throwing in a towel, making sure you're making some money, right? We all here are trying to make money, right? Anyone here not trying to make money? Anyone here wants to waive all the money they make? I think we're all trying to make money, but that comes secondary to, doing great work and helping people. And I think, selling your company and 70% of the team getting laid off is a message, which is your company is not important, right? What did Bbot provide to DoorDash that DoorDash did not have? Little bit payments. DoorDash doesn't need whatever. They're a small, tiny company. How much did they process? No more than 100 million a year. How much revenue is that? No more than 2 a year in payments. So I just think, I think that might have been, I think that's hard for the people that work there. And I think it's a feature. I think, if you go to I'm going to show you. I'm just going to show. I'm not going to log in. But if you go to our app and you go to one of our tabs, you can just do QR code ordering. That's what Bbot was really known for. Ordering from the table. I think that's a feature. I think who you sell your company to matters. And because, your legacy matters. There's a lot of small companies that have done great things after an M&A, like Disney. Disney's streaming service is acquisition, the whole thing. And that same team ran it and has given Disney what it has. I think that is an awesome place to go ahead and find your team and your company a home. And I think this is the opposite. So I think, one of the biggest losers in food tech is Bbot. Steve is a nice guy. Don't text me a hate message. Come to the podcast, we'll talk it out live. But it is what it is. And I think getting that many people getting fired right next to the holidays, it just adds on to the fact that they are my 2020 biggest loser in food tech. Next. Are we done?
Yep.
Andrew, you're making so many faces. You're making me nervous. Andrew's making so many faces, I'm getting nervous. Andrew's like, all right. Next, best new restaurant concept. Gabby.
Yeah, so for me, I was looking into this because I honestly couldn't think of anything. But when I was researching, I saw Project Pollo. I never tried it, but it's a plant-based fried chicken concept. So they have 11 stores right now. And if you pull up, well, actually, let me see if I can pull up their site. But I think if anybody did plant-based chicken, they did it right. Let me see if I can share my screen real quick.
Oh, it looks
Their
good.
stuff looks really, really good. Hold up. View menu. Share my screen right now. Yeah, it looks really, really good. Like the way that they did it. It does not look fried at all. Oh, damn. Like where do they have the...
It doesn't look fried or it doesn't look plant-based?
No, hold on. Yeah. It looks pretty good.
Ooh. That looks solid. Let's go next. Andrew, what do you got? Gabby's got Project Pollo.
Yeah, I mean, I went local here. With a restaurant that I've enjoyed going to this year. Just opened up Peachy Keen. It's in the city. It's in Manhattan. It is like a 70s themed restaurant. They did a really good job with the atmosphere. I love like a place that just like really knocks it out of the park with like the vibe and atmosphere inside there. Looks very 70s. I've taken my family there. Amanda, we've done a 70s themed birthday party for her there. But like they have great drinks. Wings are good. Food's good. So they got a drink that comes in a disco ball and all that. So if I'm talking about best new restaurant concept, yeah, it's a fun time going there. And then usually we go there and then we'll go out to the karaoke bar afterwards. So good times.
Wow. It looks great. I love. I'm looking at the chicken and waffle they have. It looks nice.
Yeah.
By the way, 70 Show is coming back. FYI for anyone
Oh, yeah?
who did not get the memo. They're coming back. I don't know if it's like a one episode, one season, or I don't know what it is. Hadi.
For me, it is Kappa. Anyone that knows me knows that I love Korean food. If I had to choose a last meal, it would be like Korean hot pot or Korean barbecue, either one of those. Kappa puts all that amazing Korean food into a cup, really quick serve. They're basically like quick service restaurant, and they're growing pretty heavily. They have like 100-something locations in Indonesia. They just landed 10 million to expand in the U.S. and have 42 locations already. So definitely one that's personally on my radar to work with that lunchbox guy. I think the FCC.
Hey, I don't want to take credit where credit is not due, but did me and my ex introduce you to Korean food when you were in high school? I just want to make sure.
That is accurate. Yes, the specific place is also named Hamji Bak in Flushing.
Oh yeah, great restaurant. Oh, fond memories. Still open. Great restaurant. Okay, all right. Next one. I'm gonna skip worst new restaurant concept because two of us did not do our homework. So
they're all so great.
Damn,
we'd love to work with all of them, except for Shake Shack.
Yeah. Hey, no, we will. Hey, Shake Shack, we'll work with you. He might not want to eat your food, or
he's out of his mind. Consistency is so hard to achieve in restaurants.
Consistently unenjoyable for me.
Oh, get that!
Oh my lord!
Fucking out of your mind.
For me.
Right. Hey, Shake Shack, listen, he's playing hard to get. Call us. We'll work with you. He may veto it at the end, but we don't know. Let's try it. Call us first. Let us see.
He'd rather destroy his colon with fucking Cheeto dust in Applebee's. You know, that's what Andrew's fucking go-to.
I said that was bad too.
Yeah, or Taco Bell. Yeah, you load up on that mild sauce.
Biggest surprises for the year. Biggest surprises for the year. I'll go first. I'm surprised by how many companies give into M&A instead of doing the hard things. I feel like a good chunk of them needed to just sell. I get that, and I support that. I named a couple of them earlier, but I think a good chunk of them sold or folded where what they needed to do was get very disciplined about their numbers and their runway, and do some really ugly and hard things. And I didn't see people lean into that side until much later, until after, in Q4, until Elon said, oh, you want to see what lean looks like? Let me show you what speed and, having a lean team looks like. I'm going to get rid of 75% of my team and ship faster, right? So I think I was just surprised and taken back by how many companies, instead of doing the hard things, did the M&A. So that's mine. Let's go. How did you?
But isn't that the point, Nabil? Isn't the point of a company to just find some sort of liquidity event, whether it's an exit or go IPO? Like, these companies are probably so far away from IPO. Isn't that didn't they pick the next best thing?
Yes, I agree, and I think those companies, I named them under the winners, like the company who did it right. I'm naming without naming any companies. Any other companies, Beepbot and GoPair, I like to pick on them anyways because it's fucking hilarious. I don't want to name any other companies and make them feel bad, but I think there's a lot of companies who have, instead of doing the hard things, which is, unfortunately doing layoffs, getting their runway under control, focusing on their product suite, instead of doing those things, I think some of them have closed shop. We'll talk about them later, especially the fast delivery concepts, or just jumped into M&A, right? So I think I'm just surprised by how many more did M&A versus do the hard things. Yeah. Okay. All right. Next, Gabby.
So for me, it was the previous, or maybe 2 podcasts ago, we did a game where Nabil would ask questions, and one of the questions he asked was, what is the most ordered or most item delivered or picked up?
Chicken nuggets.
Yeah, and it was chicken nuggets. Can we replay that?
Replay it right now.
Right now. And that was the biggest surprise. I thought it was pizza.
Tacos.
That was the biggest surprise for the year.
Chicken fingers.
Really?
The most commonly ordered item
Wait,
in
which source is
2021.
this? Oh, 2021.
They're all sourced, Gabby.
That is surprising. Andrew.
Yeah.
Do you know what the biggest modifier is that gets selected on online ordering to be
it?
removed? Onions.
Onions?
Oh.
Yeah, and the best
I get
side is
that.
French fries.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Those
I
sound more
remove pickle.
reasonable.
Get that pickle out of here.
Yeah, you're different. You have other issues.
Why would you not make the pickle?
All right.
So for me,
All right, next.
a big surprise for me, just a humorous surprise here, is that like right after this pandemic, after COVID, post-COVID, the trend that goes popular this year is punch bowls shared at communal drinks. You know, I was in Chicago and I had a giant cooler of some fruit, some tropical juice, whatever it is, alcohol and all that. Big old cooler. Everyone's scooping out of it, drinking out of straws and all that. Oh, tons of restaurants, I feel like, started adopting punch bowls here, and that to me was very surprising because I'm like, out of all the things you choose to, they're like, we're going in, we're sharing. So yeah. Anyway, to me that was a surprise in restaurants this year.
Hadi, what's your biggest surprise?
How many social media trends in food were geared towards things you can do at home? Like less trying stuff out at restaurants, but more stuff that you can do. I mean, there was a certain amount of that too, but more like, and we'll get into this in a little bit. Like, there's some YouTube channels that do like, hey, Popeye's chicken, but better at home, right? And then things like overnight oats or these charcuterie boards with all kinds of shit, you know. So there's a lot more stuff that you can do at home, and it was at a high quality, right? And there was a big trend towards that, people trying stuff out. So I think that was a big surprise. Surprised to see that.
That is very interesting. Love that one. All right, next we're going to do best CEO, restaurant or restaurant tech. All right, we're gonna start off with Hadi.
Yeah. So my CEO pick is Saad Nadir. He's the Urban Plate CEO, and he cut the Urban Plate's subscription down from $10 to $5. We currently powered their subscription program, by the way, as well. And the reason why that's so important is because his entrees, by the way, so the way that the subscription works, for those of you who don't know, is you pay a monthly price, which is now $5 instead of $10.
You someone who visits the restaurant.
The guest. And
take us back. Urban Plates. What kind of restaurant is it?
So Urban Plates, they're more full service, right? But they have a pretty wide menu that can kind of serve any kind of palate. And what they do is they do something called a plate pass. The plate pass is typically it's $10 a month, right? And you get any entree for $11. Any entree, it's $11. So now what they're doing is it's $5 a month instead of $10, and you already that $11 or whatever you pay for the entrees, and that we'll let them correct us on that price, but it's 20% cheaper anyways. But he's bringing down the subscription price, and I think a lot of brands, and Chipotle talks about this, Yum Brands talks about this, is you've got to find ways to price consumers back in. And people don't think about that enough. They just think, let me increase the third-party prices, money will start coming. But they don't care about the guests that'll stop coming. So he said this amazing thing specifically, which was, he wanted to price himself back into conversations with Urban Plates for his guests that might be thinking of cutting back, right? He wants to be like a no-brainer choice. And if more CEOs thought like that, they'd be able to capture more of the guest market share in different kind of palates. Yeah.
He's great. That's awesome. Saad Nadir, Hadi's pick of best CEO of Urban Plates. Andrew.
Yeah, my pick was Rob Wright, CEO of Potbelly. I think Hadi did a really good dissection of it on the last podcast. But Potbelly has really gone and turned themselves around, but it's growing quite well right now. And I think like a big part of it is that they're staying focused. They're actualizing on the plan that they set out a few years ago, and they're continuing on that plan. It's like a 5-year plan, and so Potbelly doing a lot of really great things. So that's my pick.
Almost went bankrupt beginning of 2020, which is not funny at all.
That's
but
amazing.
funny to think how far they've come just by implementing a simple program.
That is amazing. All right, my pick is not a single CEO, but all CEOs in restaurant and in restaurant tech who did all the hard things, and really. They're really hard to do, which is part ways with members of your team, through layoffs, better capital allocation, become financially more disciplined, look at where all the numbers are going, and constantly just go ahead and, still try to motivate your team, rejuvenate your team to continue to go and keep fighting. I think companies and CEOs and leaders of organizations have had a very tough year, and those CEOs who decided to do the hard things early on are, those are the ones I am highlighting. So that's me, Gabby.
So Nabil put me in a tough spot because I'm obviously chief of staff, so it has to be Nabil.
My chief of staff.
Exactly.
Cool. All right. Thank you, Gabby. I'll remember that during your performance review. All right. Next, best investment. Let me start first. I'll start with Danny Meyer's investment into chip cookies. Danny Meyer's and group invested $10 million in chip cookies. I know Phil, who is the founder of Chip Cookies. They were one of our clients. They are no longer our clients. Amazing cookies. I grew up in Astoria, and I love those cookies. Chip cookies is what you graduate to if you ate Insomnia cookies, right? It's like more gourmet. It's just better. It's thick. You guys any other fans of chip cookies? Just me.
Big fan. The brookie, brookie is the best.
I like my classic cookies. That's it. Just chocolate chip cookies with milk. I'll order some oat milk for my partner, and we'll just have milk and cookies. Adulting, right? 2022. So that's my best investment for the year. Let's do Hadi.
Chipotle setting aside they set aside a $50 million fund for seed to Series B startups that are focusing on like either sustainable farming or like more food tech, right? So they started implementing Misa robotics, a new scheduling system, right? So I think they're onto something there. My cat is on to me. Sorry. So they're really onto something there. They're investing in food tech, and I think that's the best thing anybody can do, right? What other restaurants can take away from that is you definitely don't have $50 million to spend, right? But I'm sure Sweet Green had a fund that they put towards technology. Chipotle is outsourcing it by way of investment. So whatever your budget is, right, whether you're a Potbelly or somebody, you have some money. It might be 50,000, might be 20,000, might be 10,000, whatever that is. You should set it aside and invest it in food tech companies, either buy their services or invest in them, right?
Great pick. Gabby?
Yeah, so for me, it was really just something recent. So I'm always following, obviously, if you've listened to this podcast, I'm always following acquisitions. So the recent one was about 2 weeks ago. Getir, is it pronounced Getir? Getir? Getir?
Getir, like get here.
Oh, okay. Getir acquiring Gorillas. I think that was a great investment. Because if you think about like the major players in the space, I think that they just did a really good job of targeting and thinking about how could they consolidate the space to avoid competition. So I think that was a really, really good investment.
Do you use them, by the way, like Getir or Gorillas or any of these?
I use Getir.
You use Getir?
I've used it, yeah.
Really?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. What about
Gorillas?
You guys ever use it?
Gorillas is the best. I used Gorillas tonight. It's like when they say faster than you, they really do mean faster than you. So those are really good.
Really? So you guys use it? I thought I've never used
Getir, but Gorillas, the Gorillas is right here. You order it, and immediately it says they're on their way. They are within 5 minutes.
I feel like
within 5 minutes.
Hadi, I feel like you use Joker, right? Because you're a clown.
I don't use either one. I'm always fascinated.
I don't use either one. I think Hadi, us brown people, we just like, if Costco, like seriously, I think this is where you're seeing, the income disparity.
I also shop at Costco.
Yeah, it's that cabinet.
When you need paper towels and I got oat milk too, in a pinch. And apple juice. I was drinking it earlier. Gorillas. You're throwing a party?
Why do you need Why do you need apple juice?
And you need the mixers and stuff like that. The mixers. Cranberry juice for the thing, for the jingle juice.
This is your blue collar pitch.
Hey, Nabil, he needs apple juice in a pinch sometimes. Okay, just leave the man alone.
Great.
If Costco has data team who looks at people and their usage and they put them into bucket, you're a 7-year-old boy. A bucket is where they put you in. With you and
Gorilla.
Sorry. Okay. All right. Last one. Andrew, take us away.
Yeah, so I put RBI. I mean, this big acquisition happened this year. They acquired Firehouse Subs. Gave them a foothold in the partner of ours, restaurant partner of ours. Gave them a foothold in the in the sandwich space, really competing with Subway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you look at that portfolio, Tim Hortons, Burger King, Popeyes, Firehouse Subs, it's a really solid crew there. So, yeah, I put that as one of the best investments this year.
I think that's great. Do you guys remember the video we made for Firehouse Subs when we were trying to sign them years ago?
And we donated.
What do you remember?
We bought a whole bunch of sandwiches for a whole firehouse. I mean, that was fun to do just in general, but yeah.
Yeah. Firefighters are so likable. Does anyone dislike firefighters? No.
All they do is run into fires and try to save people's lives. That's it. That's their whole job.
Everyone unanimously agrees firefighters are great.
Yep.
All right. Worst investment 2022. Hadi, you start.
I'm gonna have to. I don't mean to bash on Grubhub, but I think this is not so much about Grubhub as it is about Just Eat. It was a bad investment on their part, right? They could have looked at somebody else in this space. Like they could have went with a Postmates. They could have acquired a fleet and technology. Maybe try to acquire the last mile. They could have went after DoorDash, although I doubt DoorDash would want to be acquired. But I think for them to pick someone like Grubhub that was didn't have as much market share. I'd love to see the marketing plan in that deck when they bought it. I mean, I just don't think it was a good bet on their part, and that's why one of their active investors wanted to offload the investment. So I'd say that's a pretty big loss, for Just Eats.
Okay, all right. Andrew and I have the same answer. I see. Olo's acquisition of Omnivore.
I think Gabby too.
Gabby, you too? Oh, all three of us. Wow, look at us united as a team, and Hadi the black sheep. So we all think Olo's acquisition of Omnivore was not great. Why don't you guys tell us why first? Or why don't you guys take it off?
Well, I think one for a lot of folks, I mean, maybe it was good for them, but I know a lot of folks in the industry use Omnivore, their rail, their pipes to go and integrate into POSs. But I feel like it's kind of they are acquiring a technology with POSs that necessarily haven't really grown much, in terms of integrations, the number of integrations. They had 6 or 7 over the course of the lifetime duration of Omnivore. I mean, it's really interesting. It kind of makes the Bebot or whoever else, I don't know, whoever's using Omnivore. I don't know who's using Omnivore actually, but nowadays, but whoever was using Omnivore kind of got screwed over, and maybe it was good call on Olo's part to kind of corner in that way. But I think in some ways, Omnivore Olo acquisition I feel like it didn't add much value to Olo other than just trying to sweep the market out, right?
I think that's it. I think that's my problem. It didn't add any value to Olo, except no one else can have it. No one else can have it. No one else should compete with us. We don't need it, but no one else should compete with us, so we're going to acquire them. So that was my problem. Just articulate at the end of what Andrew said. Gabby?
Yeah, I guess I think that they did really well, maybe a few years ago when they acquired Wisely, I forget when it was, maybe 2021. I think that was an interesting acquisition because they were thinking more about, okay, how can we expand our loyalty? And so they have a very interesting approach. But I wouldn't say that they're.
It's either that or how can we alienate most of our partners that brought us a lot of the money when we were building out to be a public company. It could be either one of those. Probably the latter.
At the end of the day, we got the better ordering and aggregator, right? Novodyne.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I think my problem with Olo is they have this amazing.
You're chomping at the bit. I could see you, by the way. You're like.
So nothing is as it seems with Olo, and that's my problem with it, which is that when people look up to them in this industry, and when they misreported how many Subway restaurants were leaving and why they were leaving, right? And then they acquired Wisely only to alienate Punch and Paytronics and a bunch of other partners that helped them build their moat of integrations. And then no, we're actually going to do Wisely. Thanks for nothing. And now with this omnivore thing, you guys are right. They get absolutely nothing. But in their S1, when they went public, they listed Onysis as one of the major threats. So why did they buy Onysis? And this is between 8 months. They went public. A year later, they bought Omnivore. Did Onysis degrade that much since a year? So it's like nothing is as it seems. So whatever was on the S1 was obviously bullshit. They knew Omnivore was the better one, but they don't want to list it in the competitors. So I'm sure there's a bunch of other stuff they're probably not saying now, like how the Wisely integration is going or not going.
Yeah, man, this is our pick. This is not your pick. Gabby, Andrew, and I picked this.
Not your pick.
Okay, all right. Next, favorite food social media account. All right, favorite food social media account. I'll go first. I love Lil Mozzarella. You guys know him?
Yeah.
You guys know him?
Lil Moz?
Was my accent terrible? Should I never do an accent again? I'm so sorry, guys. I apologize. All right, this is my guy. All right.
I know him.
Mozzarella is amazing. He's my favorite person in the world. He does food reviews. He's as American Italian as every character you've seen on Goodfellas. He's just so funny. He's just the funniest man in the world. Let me see if I can find some videos. He didn't pin any of his top videos. But can you hear him?
No.
Can you hear him? No. Okay, I'm gonna have Renzen play some of them. But he is so funny. He is the funniest man in the world.
Daddy, are we Italian?
Yeah.
But you don't even speak Italian.
C'è la luna mezzo mare.
But how about your fat neck?
How you doing?
Wait, did he do one with Cug? I just saw that. Never mind.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
my god, I didn't even see that.
I'm in talks with him. I'm trying to hire him. I'm in talks
No
with
way.
him. All right. I'm in talks with his agent. So maybe we can hire him. Who knows? All right, Andrew.
One Bite. Everybody knows the rules. I mean, I don't really use much. I don't use TikTok or like any Instagram or anything like that. But I do watch a lot of YouTube, and I religiously watch One Bite, the pizza reviews. I ate a lot of pizza this year. A lot of recommendations. We went to, what is it, like 3 times we went to New Haven and ate all the pies there. So all of that
is it good?
Oh,
is New Haven pizza
the best. Zupardi's is number 1. Zupardi's is number 1, right, Hadi? Everybody agreed.
How far is that from me?
Much closer to you than us. Maybe like an hour and a half.
Yo, send me, please.
We can do a tour.
Yeah, let's do it. I've never had any pizza from New Haven.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really good.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's like the best.
Wait,
we're from New York.
Wait, Gabby picked One Bite as well, but Gabby picked before you, Andrew.
I did.
Gabby,
I did.
You go too.
Yeah. What's the highest? Who has the highest score? Who has the highest score?
What do you mean score? She did first.
No. I'm saying what pizza place has the highest score on One Bite? No, it's Delucia's. You gotta know. You gotta know the 3 horsemen. The 3 horsemen of One Bite.
I have no idea what Hadi's saying.
It's John Zableeker. That's one of the 3 horsemen. John Zableeker. Delucia's now, and then there's also Frank Pepe. And Sally's. You like Sally's?
Andrew, but let's go back to Gabby. She picked it first. She
wrote Dave Portnoy. Dave Portnoy specific. I only watched One Bite.
We know what. She's an OG. They're synonymous.
Everybody knows.
You know, Dave Portnoy and One Bite. Everybody knows the rule. All right, Gabby.
What's the name
side.
that they say on the front on the sign when it starts up? What's the say? What does it say? Davey Page views. That's what it says every video. All right, Frankie.
Gabby, you wrote down first. You might be a bigger fan, but we're not gonna test it. No reason to. All right, Gabby, bigger fan of One Bite. Why'd you pick One Bite?
Honestly, I mean, you say you don't have TikTok and you don't have Instagram or you don't use it. I think his I like his short clips. He has videos outside of YouTube that are hilarious if anybody has ever watched them.
Yeah, I watch only him on TikTok.
Yeah, like he has really, really funny videos outside of YouTube. So, yeah, I watch those. So, Andrew.
My favorite episode is when the guy did this and said, "Get off my hey, you need to get off."
What pizza place was that? What pizza place is that?
I don't know what it was.
Goodfellas. Goodfellas Pizza, I think in Virginia, and he rescored it recently.
He
gave him like a 7-2 or something.
He rescored it. They apologized. He rescored it. Hadi, favorite food social media account?
Favorite food social media account. So this would be Josh Weissman. He's a YouTuber. He runs a little skit called But Better. And it's about him doing. I'm going to share my screen right now and show you guys. It's really cool. It's actually where I do a lot of my copycat chef thing from. This is a window, you know, a little bit here and there.
Whoa.
So this is it. He's got an entire playlist of like he actually does crumble at home, making Nando's peri peri chicken, Shake Shack,
Cool.
Wingstop. It's really cool. Like it takes some of the best fast.
I've seen him
around.
Even Cheez-Its.
Yeah, I've seen him. He's good. He makes good stuff.
Guys, this is great. This is great. Dave Portnoy and Lowell Mozzarella should start a show together. I'd watch that twice.
Oh yeah,
that'd be crazy.
You should have him on it. Yeah.
One is very Boston, and the other one is very New York. I think that'd be great. He's very Boston, right? Am I making that
Dave
up?
Portnoy's from Boston. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Favorite media reporter. All right. Some of you have like 3 listed. I just need 1. Gabby.
Tim, this is hard. Okay, so I listen to a lot of podcasts. I think one of my favorites is Buzzworthy Brands. So that's one of my favorites. And the Spoon podcast is really good too. Yeah, so I'm between those. And then I'm boring and I'm more financy, so I read Restaurant Business and Food Dive and stuff. So sorry.
I thought you just read like Ayn Rand's like Atlas Shrugged.
I read that too.
You read that too, okay. Andrew.
For me, it's Published Press by Colin and Samir. They're like YouTubers. They have just hit 1 million subscribers this year, so I've been following them for a while. But they have a newsletter that's it's all about the creator economy, and I just really love. They've been covering so much about how creators are emerging into restaurants this year, emerging into food and beverage this year, and so I always I read their newsletter every time they send it out. I get a lot of really good insights into there, and so Colin and Samir's Published Press.
Hadi, your favorite media?
Yes, best ever food show. Have you guys ever heard of this one? You guys have probably seen some of this guy's videos. Like he let's all be honest. There's no replacement to Anthony Bourdain. Right, but this guy comes for me personally, comes as a close
This looks amazing. I've never heard of him.
And he does a lot of videos like this where he goes to different parts of he goes to different places inside the country. He doesn't just go to the city and show you the nightlife and the street food.
This
that's
amazing.
It's great and has been done over and over again. But hunting and eating a zebra, something crazy like that. And he puts it out there. He represents the culture well. Sometimes it's a little too gimmicky and upbeat, but overall it's a great message. He's someone from out of culture trying to enjoy something that's in culture.
Yeah,
it's always good to see.
Cool. Love it. All right, mine is it's Lunchbox. My favorite media company is Lunchbox. It's not one right now, but January 1st it is going to be. It is going to have everything you can think of. We've already set up the infrastructure. This podcast is just one component of it. Of our way to go ahead and report on the latest and greatest news and keep everyone educated. We work extremely hard to be here and come presentable to you and knowledgeable somewhat, right? That's one element. There's an entire other element where we have a team producing TikToks to go ahead and recommend to restaurants on how they can go ahead and increase revenue. We have another group that is, introducing restaurant brands to you and their stories and their journey. And those are just some examples of Lunchbox as a media company. I assume in Q1 of next year, we will either become a full-blown media company or buy one of the food tech press that you read. One of the two will happen early Q1. We don't care which happens or which one happens. We just want to go ahead and continue to go ahead and have be a voice for the restaurant space. And what we really are is amplifier. We want to amplify. And we really want to go ahead and continue to create a space for restaurants. That's why all of us are going to go back to work after this. It's 8:27 p.m. Every single one of us is going to go back to work after this. This is not easy or fun for us to do. I think it's fun, but it's not easy for us to do. But Lunchbox is going to continue the hard things, including becoming a media company. So my favorite media / reporter for 2022 is Lunchbox, and excited for you to see more of what's to come. All right, we're going to do 2 more. We have 2 more categories, and then we are done.
3 more categories. Three.
It's going to be. I'm canceling one of them.
Oh, which one? No.
I'm canceling best trend.
No.
Come on, let's do all 3.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Okay, all right. We'll keep it. We'll keep it. Hadi, what happened?
Nothing. For people that did the work last minute, they have a lot of opinions on where the show should go.
Well, hey, listen. Some of these answers I put a lot of thought into.
No.
Some of these answers I put a lot of thought into. Some of them not.
Okay, worst human in restaurant or restaurant tech. I'll go first.
Andrew.
All right.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
I'll go first. Gavin Newsom. This clown, by the way, he is a clown. And I don't care which side of the party. I don't even know which party he's from, right? This clown introduced a bill this year called the FAST Act. And what he was trying to do was he was trying to go ahead and have a minimum wage for restaurants. And the minimum wage is for it to be $22, right? That's what he was trying to do. The problem with that is the average restaurant worker in the country gets $22 right now. So you might be wondering, why is he doing that? What he's doing is he's introducing it so folks that are getting paid lower will have a new minimum. The problem with that being the new base, the new minimum, is now everyone in the middle or everyone in the higher end or everyone in any other restaurant should now get $30, $40 per hour, which is not sustainable. So to introduce something like this, and this bill has so many different components that are really harsh, to introduce something like this in a year where 100,000 plus restaurants have closed in a 2-3 year span because of COVID is, I think, asinine. And I think, and also he's a hypocrite, he's a total hypocrite, by the way, when he's introducing bills like this, and this is the first time because of this and because of how outrageous it was, McDonald's president, who is not outspoken at all, had to go ahead and jump in and say, "Whoa, you have no idea what you're talking about. Let us explain to you the cogs of how a restaurant works. Let us break it down for you," right? And he got, he got a lot of backlash. It did not go anywhere. But I think he is, for me, the worst human in restaurant. And I think his type of people are the worst people in restaurant, because it reminds me of people in tech that work in California that have no fucking idea how to run a restaurant. It is hard business. But they will build tech or ask for laws that doesn't make any sense, doesn't translate anywhere. So that's my candidate for worst human in restaurant. If I get hated on by whatever party he's from, I didn't mean it. I was joking in advance, and I'm sorry in advance. What, Andrew? What did I say?
Wow, you gotta stand by your take. You gotta stand by your take. I
stand by my take. I stand by my fucking take. Fuck him. Unless I'm getting canceled.
Oh wow, honorable. Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry. All right.
No, I mean, Nabil, the easy thing to do was hey, these asinine taxes in California. Most people are leaving California anyways. You think a $22 job in an industry that's already been shunned so hard is going to save the state?
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. All right, let's go a little bit lighter. Hadi, who's your worst human in food tech? Or food?
A little everyone's favorite late night show host. Just kidding. He's nobody's favorite late night show host unless he's hosting the Kardashians, which he does a lot of times for views. But look, it's James Corden. He was eating at Balthazar, and I think we talked about it in one of our episodes as well. I think it was the goat.
No, we did not. We talked about it on our episode number 1 that Andrew deleted. The lost tapes. The lost tapes.
He apologized on air, right? And you take it seriously, but then you read the manager logs, and he came several months before where he was like, "Hey, he found a hair in his food that time. Okay, fine. Happens sometimes. It happens in all restaurants. Happens, right? Shouldn't happen, but happens." And Suri was apologetic. He was irate at that time too. and was like, "Hey, send us a couple more free drinks, or I'll leave a bad Yelp review." And that's the part that I have an issue with. It's the Yelp review part. You know, like you're already an asshole. You're already fucking famous, dude. Like this is a blip in your radar. What's an $80 bill in your radar? Maybe it costs.
Obviously, you've never eaten at Baltazar.
No, maybe he's really worried about his contract and his show ratings because it's a shitty show. Maybe
he's leaving. I don't know what he's doing after.
Attack Yelp reviews. Like, I don't know. Maybe this guy needs to sleep instead of hosting a show at night, so he's less cranky. I don't know.
Wow. All right, Hadi or Hadi, that's your worst person for the year. Okay, all right. Let's do Gabby and then end with Andrew because Andrew's one is funny and very recent.
Yeah. So speaking of influencers, there was this guy who I saw on Instagram. So San Diego-based influencer. He's posting negative reviews after a restaurant basically refuses to provide free food. And if you're an influencer, like sometimes you get free food, but sometimes you don't. And so he's just writing ridiculous things. He's just saying the food was what does he write here? Hold on. He's like no, floral tasting, no flavor, and dry. Only reason people come here is because you have no competition around. These, once again, are facts. And he just goes ahead and does this to so many other restaurants just because he doesn't get free food. So, yeah, definitely think he won the award for, worst person.
He's pretty bad.
Yeah, multiple restaurants.
I changed my vote. I changed my vote. Oh my god, gross. That's not good. That's not cool. I'm gonna read this article and rage later. All right, with that, the most recent worst person in food came out of nowhere to be introduced by Andrew Boric.
Yeah, I know we've all heard of Salt Bae before. Known for his viral videos and underwhelming restaurant food. I mean, there's salt on the steak, but is it worth that much? Who knows? But when it got under a lot of fire recently for jumping on the field and taking photos with Lionel Messi, who just won the World Cup and all that, right? Yeah. And just hopping in and taking photos with the World Cup and everything like that. And so subsequently, he was banned from the it's Open Cup and from FIFA World Cup finals, all that stuff. He's just banned, and I don't know. I think he just wasn't like he lost all of his virality, and so he just was like, let me go and figure out a way to get myself back in the news again. And it was very strange. Did not expect to be seeing him, but yeah, that's my worst person in food this year. Is Salt Bae.
Salt Bae that wound a little bit.
Why do you think everyone is so upset with him? I have my theory, but why do you think everyone is upset?
He's biting the metal. Like, the biting the metal thing is like one of the things that athletes can do. It's their fucking metal. Like, they earned it, Like, you wouldn't go up to, like, an Olympic, take a picture with like, Usain Bolt and then bite his metal. Like, that's a thing that's it's like tradition, right? That was one of the things. And then the kid of one of the Argentinian soccer players was trying to, like, holding the cup, and he was, like, taking it away from him. And then he photoshopped him out of it, too. Just like my camera is photoshopping me out of my blurring.
Maybe Salt Bae is coming into focus, and that's why you're out of focus.
Oh, that's what it is? I'm gonna come to focus, and my hair is gonna be grown out.
Okay, all right. Can I show you guys a video? This is my favorite meme I saw on the Salt Bae incident.
Oh my god.
How good is this?
Oh my god. He's chasing. He's following.
Scary.
I don't know what happened to Hadi.
Right.
He's out of focus. Cover your camera with your hand.
I prefer it. I've known him for 15 years. I don't want to see him anymore. All right, next. While Hadi tries to fix his camera.
Oh, there we go. That's good. Oh, there we go. Oh.
What all the influencers do, they do this. They do.
Why don't you clap around your face? Try that.
You just made me look like an idiot. That's what the camera doesn't do already.
Nabil, what's the trend of the year?
Why don't you close your eyes and say Hail Mary? What is the word thing you said 3 times?
No. What is
Rosemary?
it? Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary 3 times and see what happens. All right. I think we're gonna continue the rest of the podcast with Hadi staying that close, which is hilarious. We have 2 more categories and we're done. Best trend. All right, we're gonna move through this quickly. Best trend and worst trend, and we're gonna call it a day there. I think this was a great podcast. All right, best trend, Gabby.
Pasta chips. Those are so good. Have you
What is
guys tried those? You like basically just take pasta, put it in an air fryer, put some seasoning on it, and then some marinara sauce. It's fire.
Ooh, that's awesome. That sounds great.
Do you know that that the cinnamon twists at Taco Bell are just pasta that they just fry up?
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's just pasta noodles.
I should try that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then all right, I'll go birria tacos. I feel like birria tacos was a big New York and LA thing, right? But I think the rest of the world caught up on it because of TikTok. It was a top 10 trend in food in TikTok. 922 million views. So I think the rest of the world has discovered dipping your birria taco in your birria sauce. It is one of the greatest thing in the world. We obviously will have animations or videos coming in, but it is the greatest. That is my best trend. I think we're going to see a lot of birria taco concepts popping up left and right.
The best spot is Birria Landia in Jackson Heights.
In Jackson Heights, yes. That's OG right there. I don't care what no one from LA says. That one is amazing. Well, LA has great birria tacos too. I can hate on them on other stuff, but LA has great tacos. Amazing tacos. All right, Andrew.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I have the best trend, but the most interesting trend that I'm following, and I want to share my conspiracy here, which I feel like is true, is Big Cereal. Big Cereal is no longer, this is my thought, my opinion on it. I don't think they're going into trying to be a breakfast food anymore. Big Cereal is pivoting into dessert. You see it with ice cream. You're seeing candy, cakes, cookies, all this Fruity Pebbles stuff. How many ice cream cereal bars have popped up over the past few years? Every time I go out, I see, you go to the store, the TJ Maxx, you'll see cereal underwear. What is this? Now they're expanding into clothing as well too. It's very strange. Fruity Pebble this, Cocoa Puff that.
There's nostalgia to it.
Yeah, but I think that they've given up on trying. In my opinion, I think they've given up on being all of Big Cereal. And they're giving up on trying to be a breakfast food, and they're just diving right into dessert. They know they're unhealthy.
I think that's a great theory. Seeing it
everywhere.
That's your trend. Cereal and everything. I got introduced to cereal and ice cream because of Milk Bar here in New York City.
Cloud9 in Patchogue. Oh best cereal ice cream.
Okay, got it. You've heard it here, folks. All right. Wow.
I flexed too hard.
All right. We're all falling apart because we're so excited. Who's eating food after this? Right after this? Oh, everyone. Okay. All right. Gabby, you went.
Hadi.
Andrew and myself went. Hadi, take us away. Best trend 2022.
Mug cakes. So easy. Like for a lot of, especially people that have trouble baking, like I cannot bake for my life. Like I can cook a lot of great stuff. I'm a great copycat chef, but I cannot bake because I burn stuff pretty easily,
You can't cook either, but please continue. I've lived with you. I've lived with Hadi in basic.
It's gotten better. It's gotten a lot better since then.
Okay.
But mug cakes are super easy. Like I make like a protein mug cake, put it in the microwave, good to go. Not too unhealthy, perfect amount. Not too much sweet.
Not too unhealthy. Sugar galore.
No, I actually use what's the Splenda? No. Splenda? Is that what it is? Is like not really.
You guys know about mug cake? You guys try it, Gabby or Andrew?
Yeah, I've tried it.
I've bought like a mud cake before. Okay.
Yeah,
it's easy. It's very easy.
Yeah, you can make a cinnamon roll.
I think if you take hot cocoa and
Gabby,
milk and then mix it.
Of course I cook.
And an egg.
You cook? I've never. What do you cook?
Everything. Getting married soon.
Like what is your dish? Like what is the dish you can make?
I make really good like garlic chicken. I make very good like steaks.
All right. We're just gonna go right to it. Last question or last word of the night. We're going to discuss worst trend 2022. All right, we're going to start with our friend Hadi.
One chip challenge. The one a Packy Pakui, whatever, Pakui, one chip challenge. It's basically it's a bag that has one chip in it. It's really spicy, and you just know it's pain, right? And you do it because you get to post it on social media, and you get to stick your tongue out in a crowd later, so everyone knows you're an idiot, ruining your insides because it turns your tongue blue as well. There's no point. Like, it's just spicy. Like, it's to see who can hold. Like, hot ones, okay, you have to eat. It's spicy over time. You have to hold a conversation throughout the whole thing. There's something to it.
For me, it's the butter boards, okay? Because they don't work. Like, if anybody has tried making a butter board, it doesn't actually, like, stick normally to the cutting board. It'll just, like, melt. And if you try to pick it up, it'll get all greasy. And like the edges, like if you have butter laying around for too long, you got like, oil start to form around. It's just the worst.
It just looks good on TikTok.
It looks good on TikTok, but then the minute like you give it to guests and you start giving it to other people, it just melts and it's horrible. It's a complete
You got to freeze the board. You have to freeze the board, like put it in the fridge so it stays cold over time. That's how they make it work.
Look, Martha Stewart over here.
So much work.
Like
just get butter and ask people just take the butter and put it on the bread. That's it. Call it a day.
And then tell them to do it at home because it's breakfast.
Tell them to stay at home and eat their own food. Love it. Okay, all right. My worst trend, the worst trend of the year, and I'm happy at least it's reaching some level of equilibrium, is 20-minute delivery. I know we talked about it earlier. I think it's a terrible trend. I think it's useless. I don't know what's the difference between 20 minutes and 1 hour. I can do 1 hour grocery with Uber or DoorDash, or I can do Amazon, which takes a couple of hours and we'll be here. I don't know the difference between that and 20-minute delivery, and I think the numbers don't lie. If you look at 20-minute delivery, how much? Like, look at Joker. Joker reached 1.2 billion valuation, but just a few months later, the company shut down all U.S. operations. All right. Okay. All right. We're going to stop right there. All right, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye. Happy New Year. Bye.
Tube socks, boy, about to pop the lunchbox. Tube socks, boy, about to pop the lunchbox.
Back to my roots, beats of the broken heart.